this before, and I've been to many such gatherings of the ANC where they sought to lay down or draw a line in the sand for their deployees, understanding again that they are up against diminishing public trust, particularly on a local level, where their councillors have been seen to be at the center of malfeasance. Now, there are two sides to the challenges facing local government. On one side, you have the corruption, the malfeasance, the inefficiency of councillors and leaders deployed to local government. But on the other side, you have systemic failures, issues in the system that cannot be fixed with firing a mayor or two. And one of those challenges is the electricity crisis and a huge issue, which is municipal debt to Eskom. Currently, that figure has exceeded a staggering 100 billion rand, which is why, despite efforts by my next guest, the Minister of Electricity, you still see power outages across the country because municipalities do not pay Eskom for the electricity they procure. So when residents pay for their water and lights bills, that money is being used, the Auditor General tells us, for salaries, for a whole lot of excessive expenditure, and not to pay Eskom for this electricity. Now, this is a massive problem. Minister Kgosientsho, Ramokgopa, thank you very much for your time. How do you fix a long-standing issue overnight where you have 100 billion rand owed to Eskom?
No, thank you very much, and good morning to the viewers at home. Your analysis is spot on. So it's both systematic and structural. Structural in the following sense is that we mustn't decouple the inability of people to pay, resulting in municipalities being illiquid and insolvent, from the performance of the economy. You state an important figure. Municipalities collectively, they owe Eskom just above 100 billion rand. But another very, very important figure is that municipalities collectively are owed in return by customers over 400 billion rands. So that's the scale and the proportions of the problem. So if you had to look at the revenue streams of municipalities, there are two principal revenue streams. The first one is around the surcharges on utilities. So Eskom sets a tariff and then they set an additional so that they can get that and redeploy it for social infrastructure. And part of the utilities is also water. With regards to the water boards, there's a tariff and then there's an additional surcharge that they place, and that additional surcharge helps them to meet the requirement. And then the second major revenue stream is around rates and taxes. So when people are unable to pay for rates and taxes, and they also are unable to pay for water and electricity, and let me take electricity, you have seen that the tariff increases over a period of about 12-15 years have been 600% increase. I mean, that scale is unsustainable. Of course, there are structural issues or systematic issues with regards to the quality of leadership and the like, but the underlying problem is municipalities are not viable economic spaces. So we need to get the economy going. If Eskom is not paid that money, it's you'll see a lot of load reduction as a result of what we call non-technical losses, people connecting illegally, and those people connecting illegally, they are consuming, and in return they are not paying. And that's why municipalities are in a big state of distress. So one of the interventions the President will be announcing is for us to go into municipalities, bring the right engineers. I mean, as I speak to you, the 257 municipalities, less than 10 of them have got professionally registered electrical engineers.
Yeah.
So that's the scale of the problem that is facing us. So you need to solve the problem upstream, get the skills in place, reticulate the infrastructure, refurbish the infrastructure, address the non-technical losses, ensure that those that should pay must pay, those that are indigent get their free basic electricity, then collect and then use the money efficiently.
There's two sides to this conversation. The one side is residents who pay for services yet still face this load reduction and are saying, why must we continue to pay municipalities when we're not getting services? And there are some lobby groups, some citizens forums that have been talking about paying Eskom directly. And how viable is that? Because municipalities and Salga are saying that if that happens, you are going to see municipalities completely defunct. But can you blame businesses to say, we cannot afford to give money to municipalities when we cannot get stability of electricity.
So you're absolutely right. So there's a middle road. So let me first start with, I think that the biggest casualties of load reduction is the people who are paying. They are paying and yet they're subjected to load reduction because either municipalities or Eskom are unable to address the delinquent. Now with the rollout of smart meters, we are able to remotely disconnect those that are responsible for non-paying without punishing those that are diligent. So part of this solution, we roll out this platform of smart meters, and it allows us that the agility to be able to remotely disconnect an individual user. You might be connected to the same transformer, but we go for the one that's not paying. The second argument is that that's the middle road. So what we are saying as part of the intervention that the President will elaborate, we come into a municipal space, we refurbish the infrastructure, we do away with load reduction, we install prepaid meters, we ensure free basic electricity goes to those that deserve it, we ensure that those who pay have a consistent supply of electricity. When they pay, that money goes into an escrow account. It's an account that is jointly managed by Eskom and the municipality. Eskom takes its share, whatever is left is given to the municipality.
Because essentially, Minister, sorry to interrupt, essentially, you've seen over and over again from the Auditor General that municipalities are having, spending sprees on money that's supposed to go to Eskom.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why you have that joint account. So part of these conditions, when we descend into municipalities, after this in government, I'm going to announce now, we're going to cabinet a program on ending load reduction. We know that it will take us at the most 18 months, but it can be significantly shorter once we get cooperation from communities. And then what we do, we create this joint account, we pay into a joint account that is overseen by the municipality and Eskom. Eskom takes its share because we have spent money to refurbish and reticulate this infrastructure. And then whatever is left is given to the municipalities to do social infrastructure. In that way, we are not penalizing the diligent payers, but we are also able to go after those that can pay and choose not to pay, and then the municipality over time will become liquid, and Eskom is able to liquidate that 400 billion rand that is owed to them, and then we can invest this money in all other types of infrastructure.
And this is for all 200 plus municipalities?
Oh, no, there are municipalities that are doing well, so it's not for everyone. So I think that candidate municipalities, I mean, if you had to think of the 100 billion rand, the top 20 collectively owe us over 60 billion rand. There's something called the Pareto principle. So you go for 20% that is responsible, can give you 80% of the returns. But over time, we'll work with everyone. The point is, we must not penalize the end consumer. That's the point. And of course, the next conversation, which something that will be addressed here, is the cost of electricity. It's untenable. It's no one can afford it. So not just the poor, the less affluent. Of course, they are disproportionately affected. Even the middle class, like I said, will come out and say, this is how we are going to address the cost of electricity.
Thank you very much. An important conversation there with the Minister of Electricity, Kgosientsho, Ramokgopa, talking about interventions around electricity. Michelle, this is a burning issue in local government, unsustainable in so many ways, and it needs a system overhaul beyond talking about, hiring and firing mayors. This has been a systemic problem that government has not been able to address for a long time, and I think that I will be listening keenly to the President when he makes this intervention, as I've been tracking this issue for a very long time. 100 billion rand owed to Eskom. It seems unlikely that these municipalities will ever be able to repay it, and the people that suffer the most are those who actually pay for their services.